Oklahoma's own News on 6 starts now.
Tulsa students head back to school next week. Today at 4, TPS Superintendent Dr. Deborah Gist joins us live as the district faces more scrutiny over its accreditation. But first,
Mr. Weiss has the authority he needs to conduct a thorough investigation and to continue to take the steps he deems appropriate independently, based only on the facts and the law.
The Justice Department announces a special counsel in the investigation into the president's son, Hunter Biden. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'm Tatum Gwynn.
And I'm Jonathan Cooper. The government also announced the talks for a plea deal are at an impasse. Natalie Brand has the developing details from Washington, D.C.
Attorney General Merrick Garland announced a special counsel to investigate President Biden's son Hunter. The move gives U.S. Attorney David Weiss expanded powers to continue his probe into Hunter Biden's tax and gun charges.
This appointment confirms my commitment to provide Mr. Weiss all the resources he requests. It also reaffirms that Mr. Weiss has the authority he needs to conduct a thorough investigation and to continue to take the steps he deems appropriate independently.
Weiss, who is a Trump appointee, began investigating Hunter Biden in 2019. In June, he announced a plea deal in which Biden would plead guilty to 2 misdemeanor tax crimes and would dismiss a felony gun charge if he remained drug-free and committed no additional crimes for 2 years. That plea deal fell apart late last month when the judge in the case questioned the terms of the deal and whether it was in the public's best interest.
I don't think you move David Weiss into the special counsel category unless there might be something else, unless there is something that could come in the future.
House Republicans, who are leading their own investigations into Hunter Biden and the president, have long called for a special counsel in the case, but say they don't agree with the Attorney General's choice. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy on social media said, quote, "If Weiss negotiated the sweetheart deal that couldn't get approved, how can he be trusted as special counsel?" Attorney General Garland says Weiss has told Congress he will have the ultimate authority over deciding where, when, and whether to file charges. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Well, it is another day with heat advisories and excessive heat warnings across the area. Downright muggy and sticky outside this afternoon as dew points in the Eufaula and Stigler area is at 80 degrees right now. Lots of moisture in the air, 77 for a dew point here in the metro, upper 70s and low 80s across the area for all of us. And when we get to that point, it is just downright uncomfortable outside. The good thing is today we have a little bit more wind than we did yesterday, but not much. Feeling like anywhere from about 110 to 117 in Okmulgee right now. So once again, dangerous heat out the door right now. Our actual air temperature in the upper 90s, and we do have some cloud cover beginning to move down to the south. So we'll have partly cloudy skies as we head throughout the evening. Temperatures will still be in the 90s, and we'll hold on to about a 10% chance for an isolated shower or thunderstorm with the potential for more storms overnight and into your weekend. We'll have the latest details coming up.
Today is August 11th, also known as 811 Day, which is a day to remind everyone to practice safe digging to protect underground utility lines. Oklahoma Natural Gas says that if you are planning on doing any digging, call 811 48 hours ahead of time. That way, utility companies and the city will come out and mark the things that you cannot see underground so that you or someone that you've hired will know where to dig.
What we want to avoid happening is for some kind of underground line to be impacted. And in that case, there was probably going to be an interruption in service for you or even your neighborhood.
If someone is doing digging around your home and they hit a line, you should immediately leave the area, call 911, and then call 811 after that. Tulsa Public Schools is responding to a video posted online by the State Department of Education.
The video is titled "The Real Crisis of Tulsa's Failing Schools," and it uses news clips, including several from News on 6. Now, these clips are interspersed with statistics about TPS.
Well, new test scores reveal widespread failure at several Tulsa schools.
We told you earlier this month the number of Tulsa public schools on the federal needs improvement list doubled this year.
Well, half of all the students here at Cleveland Middle School are failing their state math and reading tests, and Cleveland isn't alone.
Now, we want to know that no one from the State Department of Education asked our permission to use copyrighted material from News on 6 for that video. We have asked the state superintendent's office to remove any stories from our newscasts as soon as possible.
In a statement in response to that video, TPS says in part, quote, "Our focus on reading and math will lead to gains in spring 2024 state test scores at Tulsa Public Schools. We are eager to incorporate the state superintendent's specific strategies once he shares his plan with us." We are joined now by TPS Superintendent Dr. Deborah Gist. Dr. Gist, thanks for taking a few minutes and being with us here at 4 o'clock.
I'm happy to be back. It's good to see you both.
Absolutely. So this video, of course, has been in the news. It's been just the latest in the back and forth between the district and the state. Ryan Walters did not hold back. He is asking for a change in leadership. And I want to mention one quote he said and kind of get your response to it. There was an analogy that he said, and it's, quote, "Tulsa Public Schools is a bus being driven by Superintendent Deborah Gist. That bus has veered off the road. That bus has gone into a ditch, and now that bus has crashed right into a tree." What's your response to that? It's gotten personal. Do you have any plans to resign at any point since he is calling for a change in leadership?
You know, I think one thing that people need to think about when you consider an analogy like that is that you have to think about what is the quality of the bus? Does it have 4 tires? Does it have any gas? Is the road washed out? You know, there's a lot that you can do with something like that, but here's the thing. Here's what matters most to Tulsa families. They know that their kids are starting school on August 17th. They want us focused on getting them there safely and making sure that while they're there, the best possible quality education is being provided to them and that they come home happy every day.
So do you plan on resigning? Are there any plans for that?
You know, this is my home. Tulsa is the school district that raised me. I graduated from these schools. Nothing matters to me more than Tulsa Public Schools. And I think everybody in Tulsa, whether they agree with me or they don't agree with me about different policy decisions or whatnot, they know not only that I deeply care about this district and that the team and I work tirelessly to serve our children, I think they also know how completely committed I am to Tulsa. Right now, we're focused on opening schools and keeping, in spite of all of this drama that is being created, we're super focused on serving students and trying to shield our families and our team from these intentional efforts to distract.
Let's talk a little bit more about that. The state superintendent laid out all of the data from their office, and it could be alarming for a lot of parents at home to hear that the district state reading scores are below the state average. There's a lot of problems, and you've said that there is a plan for that improvement and that students are meeting these targets that y'all have laid out. How are y'all tracking that progress to be confident that the scores in the next spring will improve?
Well, I think first of all, what's important for Oklahomans to realize about the data that that Mr. Walter shared is not only that most of what he shared that day is not correct, but when you look at performance, that no one is more concerned about our students' performance than we are, and we have a specific plan, to your point. We're working that plan. We've been transparent about that plan, and every month at board meetings, we talk about our progress toward the goals that we've set. The state performance as a whole that he shared even that day, fewer than 1/3 of Oklahoma students are proficient in reading. So we have a state superintendent who has a massive responsibility on his hands to manage his office, which he's failing to do, and also to lead the state towards the improvements that we need to make. Oklahoma has gone from a little bit about half of where we are ranking in the country relative to other states to 3rd from the bottom. And that requires collaborative work by all of us in education in the state and leadership at the state level, and we don't have that right now.
So inside that data that he laid out, what in there was incorrect? Is there anything top of mind?
Oh, the financial data was incorrect. There were accusations that were made about the way we spend our money and some other items that I even corrected him about in person on Friday, and he shared it on Monday despite that. So it's pretty evident that this is an intentional effort to upset, and we don't know exactly why, but again, here's what we do know. Our families want their kids to have a great day at school on August 17th and beyond. And that is what has to require our attention. We're totally focused on that. And so what's happening from the state level is this like sort of throwing of grenades constantly. And we're going to do our best to make sure that Oklahomans know where we stand on those things, but not to the point of making that our full-time jobs. It seems to be his, but we don't have time for that. We have kids to serve and work to do and improvement to make.
So y'all are meeting these markers. Is there a place where parents can go and see that for themselves? There is improvements being made. Where can they go see that information for themselves?
Absolutely. TulsaSchools.org has our very detailed plan that our Board of Education led, that was created in a way that was informed by Tulsans. And then we had a community committee that put the strategies in place to meet the goals that the board set. So all of this was led by our locally elected Board of Education, informed by Tulsa students, teachers, parents, and business leaders and higher ed leaders. And at every single board meeting, we talk about our progress toward those goals. So we do have a plan, and we're seeing progress toward that plan. And you know, in the 13 years that was referenced in that propaganda piece, a lot of things have changed, and improvement has happened during that time. And then the state did away with the old standards, created new standards, developed a new assessment, a new accountability system. So the idea that was presented as if this was some kind of trajectory is just not accurate. And what we know is that we are the first ones to own the work that we need to do as a district. We're doing that work. We have that plan, we're working that plan, and we're staying focused on the safety, the wellness, the happiness, and the academic success of Tulsa children.
Well, you know, of course, this has been the talk of town, it seems like, over the past week. We asked Mayor G.T. Bynum about this back and forth between the state and Tulsa Public Schools, and this is what he had to say about it.
I am convinced that both Dr. Gist and Superintendent Walters want TPS to be better. They may have different ideas of what that looks like, and I think it's really important that we take the personalities out of this and put the kids back at the forefront of this.
Well, you know, with this being so personal, do you think that Superintendent Walters wants the best for Tulsa Public Schools? Since it is so personal, are you going to be able to work with him? Do you think that it's past that, or can you work with him? I know you went down to Oklahoma City and spoke with him personally as well, right?
I did last week, and I also had a chance to sit down with the mayor this week. We're doing everything we can to resolve this. I care so much about our work and our students. We will work with anyone, and we stand ready to do that work and to collaborate. And that's what it's going to take to lift up Oklahoma's performance from last in the country. It's going to take leadership, and it's going to take the collaboration of educators from all across the state. So, you know, I can't imagine trying to presume what someone's intentions are. I think the actions are pretty clear that there's a disruptive result at minimum from what's happening, if not the intent. But regardless, we are absolutely ready to work together. We're anxious to share what we've been doing and for years now, and the progress that we've made and what evidence we have. As the kids say, show me the receipts. We have those. We know all of that is available on TulsaSchools.org and has been presented to the state.
And, you know, we mentioned school does start next week, so we want to ask you about that, maybe some new things for parents. We're going to do that after this break, so stay with us, and we'll be back with more with Dr. Gist. Yeah. Welcome back. Oklahoma's largest school district heads back to class in less than a week, and we're back with Superintendent Dr. Deborah Gist. Thanks for staying with us.
Yes. Dr. Gist, we are less than a week from the start of school. Teachers are already back getting their classrooms ready. I have to ask, with all of the drama and everything that being the focus, what the focus has turned into this week being that drama, how are y'all working to keep morale up for teachers and shift the focus back to the students and the start of school?
Well, I would actually counter that and say we have not shifted our focus. So we have done the bare minimum of responding to this drama. But our focus has never shifted. Our focus is on our students, our students' safety, our schools being ready for our young people, supporting our team and making sure that they have everything they need to start successfully. But I understand what you're saying about the importance of, communicating to folks about what's going on, and we're doing that. I just met just this morning with our bus drivers actually, and they had a lot of questions about this because it's confusing, and you don't really, you could read and follow the news, but it's difficult to sort it out. And so we had a long discussion about it, and we've sent out some communication, and just doing everything we can to help explain to people that our accreditation review went successfully, that this is not about that, and that we don't know what it's about, and we don't know what will happen, but that we are doing everything we can to advocate on behalf of our district and the people of Tulsa who deserve a locally elected school board for folks that they know they can reach out to, a superintendent they know they can reach out to and communicate with, who are locally led, locally elected, and not to have this big state government takeover of the first district that existed in the state of Oklahoma. That's just not acceptable to anyone. And so we're advocating for that while we just stay focused on supporting everyone and getting ready and celebrating that first day. Less than a week.
Less than a week, and we mentioned it before. Districts across the country, across the state, are dealing with staff shortages. In the past, I know that you've even got into the classroom. Some of those in the front office have gone into the classroom. How is the staffing shortage? I mean, does it continue? Has it gotten better? How does it look going into the school year this year?
Yes, it is definitely continuing. We have a tremendous need for team members in every role. So I mentioned meeting with the bus drivers this morning. We need bus drivers, we need teachers, we need teacher assistants, we need everything. And so we continue to recruit for that, and just doing everything we can to help people see the great opportunity that exists being a part of Team Tulsa. We've hired almost 400 teachers. We do see that we're in a better position than we were last year, but we are not fully staffed. And so we absolutely are still recruiting and seeking to bring folks on to serve our students this year.
Another big conversation that always centers around the start of school is safety. Yes. What is the district doing to give that peace of mind to parents and keep kids safe?
Well, it's our first responsibility. I think every Tulsan who sends their baby off to school, and those babies may be 4 or they may be 18, but they're still their babies, or they may be our teachers, because those grown-ups are someone's baby too. So that's an incredibly important responsibility. It's the most important thing we do. It's fundamental. And we are on the cutting edge of what's happening nationally, best practices around safety, what the research says about safety. And it's everything from safety and wellness and how we're supporting everyone in the building, because it's all related, but it's also physical buildings and plans and practicing plans and professional development. There's a lot that goes into safety, and hopefully people don't see those things, because they really should be not something that's super seen, but it's there, and those plans are in place. And we even just this summer, in some of the bond work, building work that we've been able to do because of the support of Tulsans for our bonds, we've done some renovations, some new playgrounds, some new libraries, some new kitchens, and different things at different schools, including upgrades to a variety of different safety systems.
All right. Dr. Gist, thanks for taking a few minutes today. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And less than a week away now, so best of luck.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.